I'm Danielle Hosto, and I'm the Business Development Manager for Aimer. A key opportunity that Jeremy Bryant, who's our founder and Chief Technology Officer, identified before he started Aimer in 2021 was the opportunity for pasture insights and foresights to really help farmers make better grazing decisions and really focusing in on that 2 to 3 week period. The innovation what we're going to show you today is Aimer. It's our AI-enabled digital assistant for pasture-based dairy farms. And the additional feature, which will be available for our Waikato farms, is Aimer Vision Beta, our just launched smartphone app, which measures pasture with just your smartphone video. This is available as an app on iPhone and Android. But to give you a sense of what we're talking about, I'm going to give you a little tour of Aimer. So you'll see here, Aimer is accessed through your browser, and you can see on the home page here. We'll start off with the farm walk that's already in progress. The light green paddocks are estimated pasture covers, which Aimer has learned, and the dark green are previously measured. Aimer learns how your individual paddocks grow after 4 full farm walks are entered. So from there, you can start doing part farm walks to save you time in your week. After you let Aimer know which paddocks the mobs will be in for the next 24 hours, you see a summary of your farm walk with average covers, growth rates, and a heat map of the covers on your farm. In the background, Aimer is also automatically generating a grazing and supplement plan that's targeted to meet the feed needs of your defined mobs. So what you'll see here is that it gives a detailed overview by mob of what it is, what paddock they're going into next, how many breaks, the pre and post graze residuals, a supplement required, and how does that line up with the target that you've set for those mobs. As you can see here, that we're actually looking to be a little bit over the target. When we hop to the optimization screen, you'll see that it's only 88% optimized. We can play out what that feed wedge looks like, and you'll see that there's a bit of a surplus across the farm. Aimer gives some suggestions how we can take this approach and optimize our scenario. So with that, we can modify our round length, and also we can adjust what the animals are being fed. Here we can take a look at offering more pasture to the mob, as well as modifying how much supplement we make available to them. We have 2 options. There's fixed and variable. Here we can just pull back the amount of supplement that is offered so that it fills the gap in the pasture available. And then you'll see we step to the final bit, which is taking a look at actually dropping some paddocks out. So let's close up some paddocks, make some silage, and see how does that impact what our total feed wedge looks like. Once you've changed the scenario, you'll then refresh your grazing plan and see how these adjustments have impacted your optimization. Here you can see we've made some really good progress, making the best use of the pasture available. You can see there we're pretty much on target for what's being offered to the mobs. Aimer then has the ability to report your accumulated pasture production so that you understand which are your better performing paddocks and also potentially identifying paddocks for renovation. And then if you have staff on farm, we do have a limited view option that the staff can do farm walks with our farm walk wizard, as well as seeing where the next breaks for the animals are going to be. So this is taking a look at what a farm walk looks like with Aimer. So you're just entering your covers out on the farm, and it gives you some insights into what are the growth rates in that farm walk wizard. Next up, you'll be seeing how does Aimer Vision work into this. So it's just an app, and you do a 360-degree video, and it just comes up with an estimation then once you've taken that video of what the cover is for that paddock. Simple as that. Aimer has 3 levers that impact ROI: pasture intake, pasture quality, and labor savings. Where we can potentially add value to your farm is around improving pasture intake with precise grazing and supplement plans that reduce substitution. Pasture quality improvements are achieved with a focus on grazing to your target residuals and really staying on top of those pasture surplus. Finally, reducing labor demands with part farm walks and automatic grazing plans really help save time on farm. Here you'll see a scenario of a 150-hectare farm. You're able to go onto our website and run a specific scenario with your own assumptions. But in this scenario, we've assumed production of 13 tons dry matter per hectare, an improvement of 100 kgs dry matter per hectare intake, and then a very small improvement in your pasture quality alongside 3 hours of labor saved a week. These numbers are all sourced from Dairy NZ Forage Value Index, as well as assuming a $29 per hour labor costs. Many farmers, we believe, can benefit from AIMR. AIMR has been developed with the feedback of our beta farmers since September of 2022, and we've seen that this delivers some real benefits and makes a difference for the farmers. You'll note here a couple of quotes from our beta farmers. What we're hearing from our beta farmers and from our early customers is that time savings is really that leading benefit at this time of year. Many have been facing staff shortages, new staff that don't know the farm, junior staff that need upskilling, or perhaps a larger team that's a bit unwieldy to manage. With AIMR, we hear that on average, they're saving between 2 and 5 hours a week. To get the most out of AIMR, though, you do need to be measuring your pasture regularly, every week or two, ideally. This will give the greater opportunity to optimize your pasture management. We're really keen to work with dairy farmers through the Agnition Network to join the AIMR pilot for this year. For farmers across New Zealand, we'll be offering full access to AIMR now until the end of December. If you're located in the Waikato, you'll also be able to use the Vision Beta app in the pilot. For the pilot, we do have a $300 setup fee associated. This is just to cover off our labor for setting up a farm and onboarding. To get started, we'll need a farm map, ideally 3 previous covers, a few farm details. To make sure that you're 100% comfortable with the system, we'll set up a time to go through one-on-one just to answer any questions you might have with AIMR and take you through a demo, as well as being available by phone and email to answer all your questions. During the pilot, we would hope that you will complete regular farm walks, so full farm or part farm walks, and that then we could find a time in December to connect and get your feedback on what your experience was with AIMR. The offer at the end of the pilot is that by participating with this pilot with Agnition, you'll have access to AIMR at a discounted rate once the pilot is completed. This table here is showing what the standard retail pricing for a 150 hectare or 200 hectare farm is. We also have a pricing calculator on the website if you want to see what the retail price is for your farm size. You'll see here the 150 hectare farm. For 9 months, the retail price would be $1,647 or $183 per month. The third column shows the offer we have for Agnition. You pay $300 setup fee for that October to December pilot. And then if you choose to carry on with the 6-month subscription after the pilot, we'll subtract that $300 setup fee from your first 6-month subscription. This means that effectively you would have access to AIMR and Vision if you're in the Waikato for around $798 or approximately a 52% discount. So it sounds like a pretty good deal. So I hope some of you guys will come on board. Thank you very much for all your guys' time. And thank you very much, Agnition, for letting us join this pilot.